Hey, what's good? God bless you guys. This is Derek Iverson Sr. coming back at you with another episode of Real Talk Amongst Man. Hey, I want to come back and kind of add something to the video I did the other day where I was talking about faith and the measure of your faith. That comes out of Romans 12 and 3. That was the second part of Romans 12 and 3. But today I want to deal with the first part of Romans 12 and 3. Says, "For I say through the grace given to me, to everyone who is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think somberly as God has dealt to each one a measure of faith." Now, I want to deal with that first part. I want to deal with the part where it talks about us not thinking more highly of ourselves than we ought, and that we ought to think somberly. Somberly means you do things in a calm and thoughtful way. To think more highly of yourself means having or showing an excessively high opinion about one's appearance, one's ability, or one's wealth. I want to ask you a question. Does this sound like you? Or do you know someone like this? I remember being out there in the streets, hustling in the streets, and I started to be a different person. When I entered into the game, I was myself, but I had to create an alter ego, this D-Love fella, in order to go out there and do what I know I shouldn't have been doing in the first place. So in order to deal with that, in order to go out there and do what I was doing, I had to create a character. And guess what? That character started off real humble. But as the money came in, as the status came in, as the notoriety, as people start saying my name and saying how he the man and he got this and he got that, somewhere I lost who I was. And I wasn't humble no more. I was arrogant. I was prideful. You couldn't tell me that my stuff didn't stink. And that went on for a long time. It went on for a long time. The Bible also talks about God always gives us warning. Pride comes before destruction. And oftentimes we get caught up when we lose the essential part of who we are. And you say, well, what's your point? My point is this. We live in a world today to where we got people who think more highly of themselves than they ought. You ever seen someone start at one status, end up at another status, and you see them climbing, you see them going to higher heights, but the next thing you know, boom, they fall back down. You know why they fall back down? They fall back down because they start thinking more highly of themselves than they ought. They stop living by the principles that once governed them, that once showed them a better way to go. They forgot everything that they learned on the way. They forgot people who helped them get to where they get. You know, people who start off with you and then they elevate, they shoot up real quick, and they leave some of the people behind. Some of those people who helped them get to the point in life where they are today. And there's a warning for us not to be those type of people. See, I learned my lesson. I went through it. So now that I'm on this side, I can look back and look at the mistakes I made and help other people not make those mistakes because I was this person. For by the grace given me, I say to every one of you, do not think of yourselves more highly than you ought, but rather think of yourself with somber judgment in accordance with the measure of faith God has given you. That means we get to a point to where we think our stuff don't stink. Well, guess what? Each and every one of us have to go to the bathroom and use it. Yeah, your stuff might not stink to you because you're used to smelling it, but it might stink to somebody else who come into the bathroom behind you. So don't think of yourself more highly than you are. Stay grounded. Stay level-headed. Stay mindful that some of the things that you have today, you didn't have. See, we have some of the things we prayed for when we didn't have today. The house, the car, the job, the career, the children. There's a blank right there. You put in whatever you need to put in. Insert that in there. God has blessed each and every one of us with the things that we have. So let's not forget where we come from. Let's not forget how our ancestors had to work for the civil liberties that we enjoy today. See, if it wasn't for them putting in the work back then, we wouldn't have none of these things today. If it wasn't for them doing the boycotts, it wasn't for them walking for civil rights, it wasn't for them being lynched and hung, it wasn't for them being killed, we wouldn't have none of this stuff that we have today. So I dare us, get way out here, get a little something. We move way out in the suburbs. We leave the inner city, we leave the hood because we think we better than we think more highly of ourselves than we are. And I know I'm not saying everybody who leaves the inner city, who leaves the hood and move out to the suburbs think that they're better than, but it's some people that do. It's some people move because of that reason. They forgot where they came from. We can't forget where we come from. We got to stay level. We got to stay grounded. We have to keep our mind stayed on Jesus. We have to keep our mind stayed on God. And let me tell you something. If God can change an old dude like me from being that person D-Love out there in the streets who was banging the red rag, who was doing all kind of things that I don't even want to discuss on this YouTube channel. But to God be the glory for changing me and making me into the man that I am today. And the reason why I come with these stories, or the reason why I come the way I come on this platform, is to try to give you stories and use the word of God as means, give you stories and use the word of God as means to try to bring some understanding about the word of God, how it affects our everyday lives if we use it. That's all I come to do. I'm not no better than anybody else. I believe God has called me to do this. I believe this channel is going to grow. Once I get up to 50 subscribers, I'm going to be able to go live and I'm going to be able to do some other things and bring people on and hear what people have to say and get their opinions on things. So just stay tuned. Bear with me as I grow this channel. Bear with me as God will continue to do some amazing things. But if you don't get anything out of nothing I said, remember this. Don't think of yourself more highly than you are. Stay humble. Stay lowly. It's God who exalts us. Don't you run out and start exalting yourself before it's your time. Let God do the work. Let the natural progress of life take its course. And then God will elevate you. He'll put you to the status where you need to be. And when you get to that status, don't forget the people that help you get there. When you get up top, throw a rope back down and pull the people back up with you. Don't start acting brand new. Don't get the big head. Don't get the jack in the box. Don't start snaring up your nose at people you once was rocking with. See, because we see that going on in that industry. That industry that everybody's clamoring to get in. We see people getting to a whole nother level. Then they start name dropping. They start dogging people out. They start trying to set people up and do things that they have no business doing. Because they think they have arrived. They think they made it, but guess what? All it takes them to do one thing wrong. And they got to go back down to the bottom and start over. Everybody know that song, started from the bottom, now we're here. When you start from the bottom and you get to where you're going, don't forget the process that took you to get there. See, that's what God was warning the children when he brought them up out of Egypt. Say, I'm going to take you from this place and take you to another place. So basically, when you get to this place where I'm taking you, that's better than where you come from. Don't forget who you are. Don't forget where you come from. Don't get over there and start thinking that you're better than these people. Stay humble. And as long as we stay humble, God will get us to the place where we need to be in the timing that we need to be in. So again, I just wanted to come and share these thoughts with you. I just ask you to do one thing. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. Leave a comment and share the video. God bless you guys. Until next time. Peace out.